We often talk about savings plans on this segment, how much you should save, when you should save. We've talked about it a lot, many times. When would it be okay to tap into your savings?
I'm going to change the wording here a little bit, King, and say, let's call this an emergency savings account, because that's how we should be viewing these things. So based upon using the word emergency, let's really take a look at this. There are times where you will need to tap into your emergency savings, and there are what I would put in maybe 4 different categories. When you have an expense that is unavoidable, like a medical treatment, that's something that's obvious, well, you may have to tap into it. But there may also be a time where, let's say, you need a new suit for work. So circumstantially, that may be something that's unavoidable where you may have to tap into your savings account. Also, something that's unexpected, per se not an emergency, but something very necessary. So let's just say you unexpectedly get your car insurance bill and you didn't really do the planning that you should have. Well, that's got to be paid. Can't drive around without car insurance. So an unexpected expense like that, that's the time where you have to go to the savings. Of course, if there's an urgent situation, let's say that you wreck your car or your car is in disrepair and you need to get to work, well, that's something that you're going to have to tap into the savings account in order to get back on the road as soon as possible so you can keep your job. So that's one of those scenarios. And then there's times where something comes up that's unaffordable, that's outside of your normal budget, but it's necessary. So you have to temporarily tap into your savings account. But overall, when you're going into savings, you have to use your judgment. That's the most important thing. You definitely don't want to be depleting your emergency savings account or your savings account in general. And I'm just going to expand one more thing here, King. The big question that often comes up is whether you should be tapping into your savings account for your, or even going into debt for college for your children. And that's really a big one because you literally put your financial life on the line long term when you're doing that. So unless you've specifically saved for college and have that money set aside, like in a 529 plan, I actually don't recommend parents tapping into their savings account for college. I think that there are ways to get your children educated that could be more cost effective, but those are tough choices. And many times your children would not end up in the school of their choice, but it doesn't mean they can't get well educated and do it affordably.